All right, so today's September 14th, and we're going to start with some practice problems. I would like to do at least 3, if not 4. If you notice that last week I put your homework video up for you so you could double check that. But let's go ahead and get started. So let's start with 3 plus, let's do 6 cubed today because we did a squared last time, minus, and let's do in parentheses, let's do 10 divided by 2 in our parentheses. We're going to start with that. All right? So we have been talking about the fact that up here in this area, we're going to go ahead and write our order of what we're going to do. So let's go ahead and do that. So we know that we have parentheses and exponents on their own. And then we have that multiplication and division, which are bestest friends. And it depends on which order from left to right. So I'm going to write my arrow underneath there from left to right to move us across. And then it's the same thing with addition and subtraction. One is not more important than the other, but definitely still important. And that one works from left to right as well. So I'm going to give you a second to get that down, and then we're going to move on to this question. And I'm going to grab my colored pencil so that I can underline what I'm going to do first so I don't get myself all, oh no, what do I do? All right. So here we go. We have 3 plus 6 cubed minus 10 divided by 2. And we know the very first thing we do is parentheses. So we're going to underline this operation that is in parentheses. And that just happens to be our 10 divided by 2. All right? So go ahead and show me what that is. I see some of y'all's coming through. Yay! That looks awesome. All right? And that is a 5. And then I'm going to write down everything I haven't used yet. So I have not used the 3. I have not used the plus. I have not used the 6 cubed. And I have not used my subtraction yet. So we're going to go ahead and use those. All right, so now we've done parentheses and we go back and we say, okay, there is no more parentheses. Is there an exponent? Yes, there is. There is 6 cubed. And yesterday, Friday, when we talked about this, I said, go underneath that and show me what that looks like. And let's solve for that first, and then we'll put it back into the equation. So since this is 6 cubed, that means you have to do 6 3 times. So that would be 6 times 6 times 6, and then close that parentheses, because that is what 6 cubed means. So I'm going to underline that 6 cubed because that's what I'm solving. All right, now this one gets a little harder, all right, because it's not 6 times 3, it's 6 times 6 times 6. So solve for this part first. 6 times 6 is 36. And so this would be 36 times 6, because these two together make 36. So I'm going to do 36 times 6. So I'm going to come over here in my little scratch area over here, and I'm going to do 36 times 6, because this one is the 6 times the 6, the first two, and I'm timesing it by that third one. That's where your cubed is going to come into it, because it is 3 6s. All right, so here we go. I'm going to do 6 times 6, and since I just did that, I know that's 36. So I'm going to drop my 6, and I'm going to carry my 3, and I'm going to put a circle around it, telling me I have to add it. I'm not multiplying that 3, I'm adding that 3. All right? So then I do 6 times 3, and 6 times 3 is 18, plus 3 is 21. So this 6 cubed actually equals 216. So now I'm going to put that back into my equation. So I'm going to put this 216 back into this equation. and I didn't use the 3 plus, and I didn't use the minus 5. All right. So now I can go back to my order of operations up here. Here we go. Did I do my parentheses? Yes, I did, and there is none left. Did I do my exponent? Yes, I did, and there are none left. Is there any multiplication or division in this equation? No. Is there addition and subtraction? Yes. So I'm going to start with the one to the left, and I'm going to start right here. So I say 3 plus 216 . Absolutely, that would be 219. And I write down the minus 5 that I have not used yet. Absolutely. So now my last operation to do is 219 minus 5. And that would be 214. Now, if you need to come back over here and do your 219 minus 5, that is absolutely fine. If you need to put it in there, that's absolutely fine. So 9 minus 5 would be 4, and I bring down my 1, and I bring down my 2. So my answer would be 214. Absolutely. Good job. All right, let's try another one. That one was kind of tough. That 6 cubed I thought really was going to throw you. You guys did a pretty good job with that. I'm impressed. All right. Maybe I'll give you an easier one. All right, let's go down to number 2. All right. So let's put a bracket. So we know inside of our bracket there's going to be another parentheses that we're going to have to solve. So we're going to start this one with a bracket, and we're going to say 3 times 6 plus, and here's where our parentheses is going to be, 7 times, let's do 4, close my parentheses, I'm going to close my bracket, and I'm going to say minus 25. Okay, so I'll give you a second to get that written down. We're going to work our way through this one. Last week when we talked about this, we talked about you use this bracket because it's just like a parentheses, but there's another parentheses inside of it. So the reason that you use that bracket is so that you do not confuse between which two brackets you're working on. So we're going to solve this bracket, and then we'll solve inside of this bracket to get rid of it. All right? So I'm going to grab my colored pencil again, and I'm going to say, are there parentheses? Yes. So I have to solve for those parentheses first, and the very first one I need to solve and get rid of is this 7 times 4. So I'm going to do 7 times 4 first. Absolutely 28. Good. So I'm going to bring down my 28. I have not done my 3 times my 6 plus, and I'm going to bring that bracket down because I am not done with it yet, because I cannot get rid of a bracket until it is empty. All right? So then I say, can I solve a parenthesis? Oh, I almost forgot to bring down my minus 25. Could have messed me up. All right. So then I look inside of my bracket and I say there's a 3 times a 6 and a plus a 28. So that's not a single operation. So I'm going to move across my stuff and I'm going to say I need to solve the multiplication before I can solve the addition. Okay, and that's multiplication should be 3 times 6. So then I would write 18, and I would bring down that 28, and I bring down my bracket again, minus the 25. Now, inside of my bracket, there is a single operation. We can finally solve that and get rid of what that is. All right, so I'm going to underline my bracket. And I'm going to come over here to the side, and I'm going to say 18 plus 28 so that I do not mess myself up. And I'm going to say 8 plus 8 is 16. Carry this 1 that I'm going to add. And 1 plus 1 is 2, plus 2 more is 4. So that should be, if I'm not mistaken, 46. So this would be 46 minus 25. And now I'm down to that single operation. And I can say, let's do 46 minus 25. And I'm going to stack them so that I do not get myself confused, because I will. So 6 minus 5 is 1, and 4 minus 2 is 2, and that answer is 21.